next presenter this evening before we get into the awards is going to be Chuck Kane. As all of you guys know, we did lose a very important person in bowling this year. Jim Doty passed away in February, and Chuck has some words he would like to speak in memorial. Okay. First, we've got a video, and then Chuck.
First of all, Jim Doty. Jim, most recently passed away. He was the Royal, we all know, he was the Royal Pin Woodland Bowl GM. Woodland Bowl, the only center to have hosted all 5 PBA major championships. And because of Jim, it felt like home for all of us who were on the road, away from our families. You go into Woodland, you knew you were at home, and you knew you were going to be taken care of and respected. And that's really all we ever asked for. And to say a few words on behalf of the players about Jim, I want to welcome Sean Rash up to the stage. Sean.
All right, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. First, I hope I don't get suspended for my comment to Ronnie a minute ago, but just kind of lighten the room. Jim's service is going on right now as we speak. Just take a moment of silence for Jim real quick. Most of you know I'm pretty emotional. I've known Jim for over 20 years. My first college event was at Woodland Bowl. So many years ago now. Ken Howard, the GM, and Jim became friends instantly for so many in this room. Jeremy became like a brother. We would see him at Bowl Expo. I remember playing pool with the Black Widow in the Beer 30 Lounge so many years ago. Jim would make sure he would say hi to everybody. It didn't matter if you were the best bowler in the world or the worst bowler in the world. He made time for everyone. And we just saw him a few weeks ago. And I know how proud EJ was to win an Indy with Jim there. He loved everybody in this room. He loved their sport. He made bowling better, not just at the professional level, at the high school level, the college level. Everyone in this room was touched by Jim Doty. May he rest in peace. Please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. And I know we're all thinking of him. I know that, listening to the commentary and the article that Johnny Campos just did about Pete winning and dropping his trophy there, Norm winning one of his last titles there, walking in and seeing your banner in that bar. I see the guy, Schaefer, right next to somewhere out there. Schaefer and I, unfortunately, have never won there, but he put a banner up for us for shooting 300 in this building, and didn't have to, but he wanted us to feel like we were winners, and he made sure that everyone that showed up felt like winners. So, Jim, we miss you, we love you, and thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Casey. That was quite a touching. It's the first time I had seen that clip. The guys had told me that it was there, and I thought it would be probably a beautiful way to start this commemorating service to Jim. And I did write up a script there, so you don't have to worry about any of my stories that you don't understand or any of that at this point. At least they'll be written down. So it's just a tribute to Jim Doty and his contributions to the bowling industry. I met Jim in the mid-'80s when there was a movement to activate the Indiana Bowling Proprietors Association to enhance their involvement within the state. At that time, Lucky Strike was a dues-paying member, but not much participation. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? With everybody, just being there but not doing anything. Anyway, I received a call from Marlon Milligan, state president at the time, and I was invited to a meeting in Indy. There was an idea to divide the state into zones and attempt to get more activity created. Bob Colburn from Kokomo spearheaded the plan. It gained traction. More centers got involved, starting having board of directors meetings and zone meetings, and statewide tournament at the zone level was created. Annual meeting, was their participation. Among other marketing efforts evolved. And I'm just going to digress for just a minute and let you know that that was quite a history that I'd like to share. I'll do some name dropping there. The Carl Hindels, the Don Lowrys, the Coopers. What's that guy that was at Royal Penn back then? Oh, Mike, can you help me out on that? What was that guy's name? I think he sponsored you or something, didn't he? What was his name again? Tell me. Don Mitchell, very instrumental. The Charlie Coopers, and I can go on and on. But we've just progressed to all this through the efforts of that group and the groups that have gone before them. We had Dolores Webb on the USB side that was taking care of all the youth and all that. So it was a family then, it's a family now. But this is what the cohesiveness did, was to bring us all together at that time. And I just wanted to share some of those names with you because they were instrumental. But with that said, this when I first met Jim, he was the manager of Woodland Bowl at the time. Jim always had input at the meetings. Was willing to share ideas, even though Royal Penn looked at, in my opinion, as the elephant in the room and really didn't need any help. That was just a misconception that was out there because they've always been there for all of us. And I will share with you one attribute takeaway that I realized early on interacting with Jim, and that he was going to tell you what he thought. He always knew his stance on the situation, and he was not one to pull punches. So, sharing some of just the contributions that he made to the association and to bowling in general is that I just think a lot of it's osmosis, because the knowledge he shared with the state via his involvement at the national level is priceless. The ideas he imparted and had a way of rubbing off on the rest of us, it just made you feel better and it made you want to get involved. And serving multiple terms on the National IBCA Board of Directors and numerous committees, and his participation in the movie organization where he served as president are examples of his commitment to and his influence on our industry. You saw the clip that PBA did on him. We just cannot measure the value of his benefits we have received from Royal Penn's participation under Jim's tutelage over the years, not only via the PBA hosted events, but the state and national events as well. Junior Gold, Super Bowl Celebrity Bowling Tournament was a dandy. And there are many other examples that we could share. I will share that Rick Braden and I were honored to be present for his PBA Hall of Fame induction in Arlington, Texas. We were jokingly introduced as the Indiana Mafia. I guess Jim did have a sense of humor, didn't he? So, but additional awards bestowed on Jim include the IBCA's High Delman Award, USBC's Proprietor of the Year, the Indiana Kingpin winner when he, and this is a good one, he and good friend Jerry Hindle shared acceptance, thinking they were presenting to the other one that was to get the award. Now that was a keeper. That was worth the price of admission for that one. I always will remember that. During his IBCA presidency, he was the one leading the charge when Indiana High School Bowling was launched in 2000. Today, the success of that program speaks for itself, which brings us to another award, although posthumous, and it was voted on today. We will now be at the state finals of the high school bowling team tournaments, it will be known as the Doty Cup. And I think it's only behooving that it keeps that honor alive, and I believe it's fitting way to commemorate Jim's legacy in the years to come. Let's all remember old Jim. He was a dandy. And he would be upset if I didn't tell at least one story, so I'll share with you. I remember the elephant in the room. I know we have one young man here, but that's okay. He'll understand this. Do anybody know what the elephant said to the naked man? It's kind of cute, but how do you wash your back? Told you Jim had a sense of humor.
Thanks, Chuck. Now we're heading into award presentations for many people who deserve them this evening. Before I get started in that, I'd like to make a recognition, though, for somebody who is getting a high honor this year. Mike Albee, if you will please stand. He will be getting the Victor Learn Award at Bowl Expo this year, much deserved. Mike is the only person to win all 3 Hall of Fames, PBA, USBC, and BPAA. Mike, it is much awarded. You deserve that award. It's thank you. If we can get a round of applause for Mike. I can't imagine anybody that deserves it more. All right. So we're moving into our first award this evening for customer service. And Angie, I know that our award winner isn't here, but if you'd like to please come up and announce her, I would appreciate that.
On behalf of Championship Lanes and FTC, this person is the epitome of a model employee and a model person. She goes above and beyond. She has been with my building, my company, for 8 years when we bought the center. Before that, she had been with them for 21 years. She has been in the same building for 29 years. That is dedication. And she is the epitome of customer service. She goes above and beyond. She always has a smile on her face. When I knew Scott was making the phone calls about who had won these awards, she had no idea that we had nominated her. And she came up to me the next morning, gave me a hug, cried, and said, "Do I really deserve this?" And I said, "You are long overdue to be recognized." Unfortunately, she had planned a trip to Florida this week. So, in that, I said, "It's okay, I'm gonna bring you home a little trophy and it's good and it's all gonna be great. We just wanted to recognize you for an employee that has gone above and beyond for 29 years. And so she looks at me and she says, "Can you move the banquet?" No, but just in her honor, and there are a handful of you that know her here, and they will agree with me 110%. If every center had 5 of her, we would be gold. She is that person. And so on behalf of Rhonda, laying on a beach somewhere, I accept the award on her behalf. And trust me, it is well deserved. And she is more appreciative than you will ever know. Thank you, guys.
I told Angie that we would have all been more than happy to go to Florida and join her. We could have joined her down there. Okay, our next award is for Facilities Coordinator of the Year, and Terry Powell, if you will come give this much deserved award.
Well, this person didn't really want to come tonight, and I forced it. Told him that he needed to be here because there's so many reasons that he is a valued employee. I couldn't even list them all. It would take forever. I would truly hate to think what Woodland Bowl would be like without you. And I'm proud that you work there and for everything that you do there. Gene works so hard to keep Woodland in tip-top shape. He takes pride. He even answers the phone when I call him and he's on vacation. When I say, Unit 2 is down, what do I do? And he kindly says, did you push the reset button? No, I forgot. I'll get on it. I enjoy his sense of humor. Even when I have to remind him that we're not supposed to have those HR moments, he'll raise his hand and yell, home run, because that's what HR means to Gene. I feel like I can speak for all of the staff at Woodland, and I feel like I can speak for all of the staff at Royal Penn Entertainment. When we say thank you, everything that you do means so much to us. You deserve this more than anybody I know. It's my honor to introduce Gene Johnson, IBCA Facilities Coordinator of the Year.
He answers when I call him. He answers when I call him.
I would just like to thank everyone that, oh, please be seated. Yeah. Tyler May, Craig May, Heather, Terry Powell. Pleasure to work for all of you guys. It's really great. Couldn't ask for better people, but thank you.
Picture.
Congratulations. Okay, our next category is Mechanic of the Year. Dave, would you like to come up and introduce, please?
Hello, beautiful people. Oh, thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Mechanic of the Year is definitely an awesome position. If you don't know Marty Murphy, right there. Marty's been with me for 11 years now, in the building for 14. Actually moved back from Florida to Fort Wayne. The hell were you thinking? But no, in all seriousness, Marty is an amazing person, not just a mechanic, but a damn good friend. He not only handles our Fort Wayne location, he handles our other 5 locations as well to ensure that we are on inventory, on staff, on parts, on budget. I try not to give him an open checkbook because he knows my signature and knows how to write it, so I get a little worried, but that's all right. But Marty also not only does work for me, but he goes and helps other centers. Some of the smaller centers out there in the northern region that maybe don't have the luxury of having a mechanic or someone there full-time to help fix their pin setters and keep their operations running. And Marty, you work at 3 others as well, kind of helping out the Eagles, Kendallville, and a few other small centers up north. You know, gives them the ability to operate and stay at peak performance, which is really generous of him, of his time. And I love him to death. He's a great guy. You'll like him too. Marty, come on up here. Congratulations, buddy. Well deserved.
Well, I was playing a little joke on Dave this morning. He says, you got your speech written? I said, nah, I got no speech, but And I started thinking, and I told Dave, I said, well, I guess I get to announce my free agency at the end of the pay period this week. No, but actually, I like what I do. I help a lot of people out. Actually changed the rake shaft last night at 10 o'clock at night up at Kendallville. And I just like what I do. I've been doing it since I was 18. I'm 62 at the moment. Feel like I'm about 40. So I plan on being around for a while. You weren't allowed to drink when you were 18 in Pennsylvania. No, but thank you for nominating me, David, and hopefully we have many more years to come.
Congratulations.
All right, next up, we have Travis Houston doing the Future Star Award.
All right. All right, everyone. I'd like to introduce you all to Katie. She has provided an excellent guest experience in the Union Rock and Roll at Purdue University since September 2019. Katie has been a prime example and leader for her coworkers. She is welcoming of all of our guests, and her positive attitude is infectious. And I use the word infectious because she's a biology major. And it could cause others to come down with a smile. Katie has been self-sufficient for several years and is very trustworthy. She arrives early to most of her shifts and to plan ahead for her shifts for the night to come. If she doesn't show up early, she's late. Hence, another employee said. She will be graduating from Purdue University this weekend with a major in biology and a minor in psychology. Give it up for Katie. Also,
Picture.
oh,
If she's not gonna see. Yep, that's it.
also, I want to give an honorable mention to somebody else who came with Katie today. Her name is Marissa, even though her name tag says Melissa. Sorry. She is also graduating from Purdue this year in a major wildlife, and she's been with us for 1 year. It is very unique to find somebody that comes into your center that has mechanic experience as well as just overall bowling experience at a university level. So everybody give it up for Marissa as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis.
All right, and Chuck is coming up to introduce our Manager of the Year for Small Market. You can't win.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure I'd get a nomination from rural Penn North there anyway. 13 years ago, her mother brought forth probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because she has made my life so much easier. when you think about a 12-lane small center in a rural type area, you have to wear all the hats. And fortunately, I traded my hats in for hairdos and wigs there, because you never knew what color Whitey was going to be that day, but by golly, that was a good trade-off for sure. And she gets more kicks out of that than you'll ever want to know, and I invite you to Lucky Strike Lane so you can witness it, because I could sit here and explain it all day and would not be able to do it justice. But not only does she do that, she controls all the operations throughout the day, all the behind the scenes stuff. She had to get an agent in order to negotiate all of her wages and so forth. So there was a little conspiracy behind the scenes there, but it's worked out well, because he's not worth a damn, I'm telling you. So, but she has made my life so much easier for me to get out here and do this association work and so forth that I've been doing for longer than I want to admit. But I couldn't do it without her. You go from the bar, you go to the counter, you get back there and do the league stats, you get in there and flip a burger if you have to. I'm telling you, she's covered all the bases, and I am, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, I'm kind of seat of the pants, but for doing things, and I forget to write things down. So I've always got my secretary behind me saying, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, did you do that, you forgot that. So it's been that way for longer than I want to admit, and so not only is this my stellar partner in Lucky Strike at this point, she's also my baby sister, and I wouldn't trade her for a dozen. Of course, I don't have any other sisters, so it doesn't matter. Come on up here. I told you I wasn't going to embarrass you too much. Candy Lee Southern.
Well, how do you follow that? Come on. Now, don't. If I heard it from you, I can't repeat it, so I'm sorry. I have heard more jokes from him than I can count, and that's enough for me. But I want to thank my family for being here. I want to thank my husband for dealing with me being away for all the time, which he probably doesn't mind at all sometimes. And this job is easy, and it's easy because I have a large family support. All the people that work at the bowling alley do their jobs. They don't have to worry about, if they're doing it right or not. They know they'll find out one way or the other, but we have enjoyed it all, and I wouldn't do anything else, so thank you very much.
All right, and up next, we have Manager of the Year for Large Market, Dave.
Hello again, beautiful people. Really? That's what I get. Jeez. When we talk about Manager of the Year, and congratulations on this side as well. Wonderful, wonderful done. Chuck, how do you stay looking so damn young? How do you do it? Okay, fair enough. Tough following that act, but when we talk about Manager of the Year in a larger market, we talk about, obviously, centers that are crazy volume. I bought Noblesville in 2015, July 1st. I bought the Cooper's family out at that time. I bought Anderson and Noblesville simultaneously. I can't believe it's 8 years now. And this homeless guy right there, named Jeremy, sitting right there. I just tease him like that. But walked up, and we were outside, Angie and I were talking, and he walks up out of the blue and says, I need a job. And I said, okay, what can you do? He goes, I can cook. I said, perfect. Put him to work. And then we decided we liked to drink Jack Daniels together. And we're sitting outside enjoying the patio fire in Anderson, and he looks at me and he said, I'll make you a bet. And I said, what's that? He goes, I'll double your revenue in Anderson. I'm like, what's in it for me? He goes, I'll bet you $1,000. I'm like, all right, I'll take that bet. How quickly did I have to pay you that $1,000? That's right, 6 months he did it, not a year. Not bad. That deserves a round of applause. I mean, double someone's revenue in 6 months, come on now. And then we had an opportunity happen in Noblesville, and we had some serious management change over there, and I asked Jeremy, I said, you want the opportunity of a lifetime? You want to come over and try your hat at the center where the last 5 managers have not been real successful? And he just looked at me and said, I can't say what he said, but it began with an F and it ended with a yeah. So over he came over to Noblesville. And at that time, we just came out of a $3 million renovation. And yeah, that was a mess. And I needed someone to help me, and he came over. And I started making goals with him and started making bets and started losing more money as always. I couldn't seem to make the goals big enough, which is fine with me. I'd rather pay him and make more on the backside than on the front side, so we're good there. But the one thing that really makes Jeremy stand out is he is an amazing father. He is an amazing husband. His family is here. Tasha, Carson, stand up, please. Carson's my little nephew. I've been adopted, that one right there. And those two actually need to really be up here to receive the award because they're the ones that have to put up with my bullshit behind the scenes and, you know, him not being home and him working all the time. So they are the ones that really deserve the award, not Jeremy. I just pay him money. So, but my brother, Jeremy, get up here and show him what you're all about.
All right. Everybody thinks Chuck can talk. I got a 2-hour speech. I hope everybody's ready. I'm kidding. Thank you. It has been fun. It's been a wild ride. This award right here belongs to about 50 employees that I have because I didn't do this by myself. My right-hand man, Craig Roach, my operations manager, him and I are a team, and we've got a great team of young men and women and a lot of high school kids that have made Bowl 32 Noblesville's Family Entertainment Center. And it's been a pretty awesome ride, so that's about all I got. Thanks, Dave. You want to make the next bet? Let's go get those batting cages.
Congratulations.
Okay, our next award is our Don Mitchell Meritorious Medal Award. Don Mitchell, a well-known advocate for the sport of bowling, began his career managing a small bowling center in Indianapolis. His vision for the business enabled him to be driving force in the creation of one of the largest recreational bowling companies in the world, Royal Penn Leisure Centers, now known as Royal Penn Entertainment. Don was a tremendous mentor to his staff, colleagues, and fellow proprietors. He devoted his life to promoting the sport by creating the highest standards for customers and their experience. The Don Mitchell Meritorious Medal Award, named in his honor, was founded in 2013. The award honors an individual that has made a significant contribution to the advancement of bowling. This year, we will be recognizing a gentleman that has spent countless years doing just that, Mike Crozier. And I'd like to announce Mike Cozy from Olympia Lanes to come up and introduce him.
Thank you, Casey. First, good afternoon, and I'd like to congratulate all our award winners today. It is a great honor and a pleasure to introduce my friend of 35 years, Mike Crusher. I'll just tell you a little bit about Mike. Mike has been involved in bowling for as long as I've known him, and even before I met him. Mike is from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Mike went to Kalamazoo College. He moved to Northwest Indiana in 1986. He started bowling in our Wednesday night league, where I was the manager at, in a local 10-10 league, is where I met him. Mike met his lovely wife, Diane, who's here also, with a setup of myself and my wife. So I guess my wife and I are, considered matchmakers. They've been married for 32 years. Actually, their anniversary is coming up. I do believe it's June 5th. They have two wonderful children, Paige and Jimmy. Mike's home center is Hebron Lanes, a small little 16-lane center that he started coaching youth in 1995. Mike is also an accomplished bowler. He was got inducted into the Quad City Hall of Fame in 2008. He became Hebron High School's boys and girls high school bowling coach in 2013. He coached that girls team, Hebron High School, to a state championship. Later, in 2013, Mike also became the Suburban Conference Coordinator, working with Steve Kunkel with high school bowling. Mike also worked with Larry Zademan as tournament director for multi-high school tournaments in Northwest Indiana. Mike also ended up being director of the World Team Challenge tournament that's being held in Northwest Indiana through the Inland Steel Athletic Club. He ran that for over 15 years. Some of his bigger points: Mike started the Northwest Indiana Junior Tournament Players Association in 2012. This was to help youth players from all over the state and other states compete on difficult lane conditions, earn scholarships, earn junior gold spots, and compete and meet players from all over the area. Over 100 players have gotten scholarships to colleges, multi-NCAA scholarships. Some of those have become NCAA champions, PBA members, WPBA members. Mike also started the Michiana Cup. He created that in 2015. It gave opportunities for youth bowlers on the Indiana Tour to compete against players from Michigan Elite Youth Tour. He also started up the Lake Michigan Cup he created in 2019 to expand the opportunities for Indiana youth players to compete against Elite Tour of the Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois. A lot of time, I tell you. Mike also has created stats and a scoring system for the NCAA coaches, what they still use today. Mike has also been the tournament director and manager scores for Deandra's Elite Youth Tour. These accomplishments were all done on his own time while still working and raising a family. Mike has dedicated 28 years to the betterment of youth bowlers across the state and countless centers and in the Midwest to help youth bowlers achieve their goals. Mike is still doing this today and hasn't slowed down. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you coach, director, mentor, organizer, my teammate, best friend for 35 years, Mike Crusher.
Wow, I can't believe I've known him for that long. Key thing to remember, though, he is still older than I am. Let me correct Mike on one thing first. It was not Hebron High School, it was Boone Grove, all right? Not Hebron. Don't ever confuse those two schools. Seriously, thank you for the IBCA for this special honor. It's something that didn't even expect or even anticipate. And I'd like to especially thank my wife for her support and patience over these last 30 years, it seems like, and all these having to tell her, yeah, we got another weekend for bowling, another weekend for bowling. And at first it was good because the kids were bowling, but for the last 10 years, there's been no kids bowling. So it's just been going away, and I think she would head to the casino after that, so she probably liked it for a while. But bowling's been a big part of my life, as Mike said. I've met a lot of great people because of bowling, and it's provided many opportunities for my family, including college educations for both of my kids. And as Mike alluded to, without bowling, I would never have met my wife through Mike and his late wife, Wendy, who set us up on that blind date like 34 years ago. Though my wife says it wasn't a blind, she didn't even know it was a date. I don't even think she knew I was coming. And Mike, on the other hand, told me, yeah, there's this girl and she saw you bowl and she wants to meet you and all this. So I think they were playing a game with us, but it definitely worked, and I appreciate that, Mike. There have been so many people that have helped my kids with this game, folks like Karen Koskis at Hebron Lanes, Jerry Mahalik at Plaza Lanes, Luis Lesser, Jerry Terabik from Michigan, just to name a few, that it was important for me to try and do the same for other parents. I didn't want to be on the other side, that other guy, even though my friend Steve Kunkel would say I was during high school bowling. But I hope I've been able to do that or help advance this game through my involvement with high school bowling, the NWIJTPA, which we call the Alphabet Tour now, and NCAA bowling. And along the way, obviously, I've had a lot of help to do that. My kids, Jimmy and Paige, provided a lot of guidance when setting up and promoting this youth tour. And Jimmy still helps today with not only that tour, but also the Elite Youth Tour that Dean Resbatti runs. And just talk about somebody that lives for the game. I think I've created a monster here. So, proprietors along the way like Nick Locus, Jim Wojcik, Martha Bozeman, George Clark, Rob Tucker, Scott Devers. They were instrumental in the growth of this youth tour that we created back in 2012. They were invested 100%. They never said no to my crazy pricing requests, as well as several other demands that, only the dedicated proprietors would say, yeah, bring it out. They clearly understood to grow the game, we needed the youth players. So, and then Mike also mentioned, I got to say special thanks to Larry Zademan and Paul Muse. These two have helped me from the beginning with the youth tour, and they never say no, and they've been a big part of why I'm here today. So thank you again, IBCA. Appreciate it.
Okay, before we conclude, we got about another 10 minutes that the bar is going to be open if you guys would like another drink. But other than that, I want to thank all of the managers and proprietors who put all of these people up for awards this year. I think I speak for all of them when I say none of us could do our jobs without you guys who are dedicated and come to work every day and have a passion for their jobs. So we appreciate each and every one of you award winners, probably more than you guys would ever know. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for proprietors for putting these people up for these awards, because I'm sure they are 100% deserved, probably more than, like I said, more than the award winners would ever know. Have anything? Okay, we are done. We do close up about 7:30. We got another 10 minutes in the bar, mingle for the last few minutes, and thank you guys all for being here this year.